look as crazy as I feel. We rescued a kitten, and it's been absolutely incredible. And her name is Ylva, whether my boyfriend likes it or not. But her name is Ylva. It means wolf in Norwegian. She's a little baby kitten, about 6 or 7 weeks old, was only 2.2 pounds, had an upper respiratory infection, had a really bad bite on her leg that was a little infected, and so it was a little hard for her to walk. But she's had all her medicine and she doesn't have any worms or parasites. So we're super excited, and we're slowly, now that we know she's healthy and she's okay, introducing her to our cat, Cleocatra. It's not going very well. Nothing aggressive, but my cat is just like, "Ugh," and then like runs away and like drools on the floor, which apparently is normal when cats are like ingesting new smells, which I had no idea. But it's been a whirlwind, and I've got all of my grading due for the end of the semester, and I've got a bunch of other shit going on, and I'm just gonna do some grading. This is going to be a sort of week in the life of, I know, Cleo. Say hi to the people. There you have it, folks. This is going to be a week in the life of a full-time PhD student in her proposal stage, um, in women's spirituality, a business owner. I run a Women's Spirituality Institute in Northern New Jersey, as well as a film festival in New York City. And I run witch workshops. I co-run witch workshops with my friend Amy. My cat wants more attention, even though she sat on me all day, and we've done absolutely nothing together. I know. A little jealousy going on here with the new little kitty in the picture. Mommy loves you so much, as she does. Any advice on that, by the way, would be really appreciated. But this is a vlog, so I'm preparing for witch workshops, which, gosh, is it month 4 or month 5 already of our year-long program for witches to deepen your practice or to create a practice. I'm going to be looking at the feedback on my proposal from my advisor. I have to do like a restructuring of my methodology section, which is not sexy. I look crazy. Look, I'm gonna look even worse. And my advisor is like a real tough lady. And when I mean tough, I mean like not her like as a person, but her as like an advisor. I caught a glimpse of myself. Her as like an advisor and a person that you want to go to for the tricky stuff. She's really good at that. I've got a bunch of promo stuff going on this week. My ebook is being released, so I've got to put the finishing touches on that. So it's like full on businesswoman week, full on PhD student week, full on professor week. It's like boom. And so I'm going to take you through a little bit of that. I'm going to get back in the yoga room this week, which is going to feel incredible. This is like a week in the life of a professional witch, of a witch doctor, aspiring witch doctor. My handle is Freya the Witch Doctor because of the PhD, obviously, but also I've been wheeling and dealing herbal medicine and ritual and magic remedies for a very long time. And while that might not be a doctor in the contemporary sense of the word, folk medicine is my jam. And I found an old, God, this was so incredible. I found an old journal from when I started my journey. This was my journal. When I started like my herbal medicine and like flower essence and like tincture healing journey. And everything I felt and experienced is in here. And I'm about to teach some flower essence creation tomorrow in witch workshops. And looking back and reading the words that I wrote and everything I felt and experienced is its own kind of medicine. It's really healing. And it's funny, I discovered in looking at this journal that I landed in Hawaii. This was my first women's retreat, women's spirituality retreat, before I understood the complexities of colonialism and tourism and all of those things. I landed in Hawaii the day before my now partner's birthday, but the first official start of that retreat, of that awakening, took place on his birthday. And the flower essence I made, it was a tree marigold, and it was October 2015, and the name that came through me is Tamuns. And here you can see this is the mother. This is the mother stopper. I've had it for so long. And I wrote in my journal, I couldn't believe this. I said, the portal to my healing was found next to the creature I'm afraid of the most, a spider. And when you think of Samhain, now, modern day Halloween time, you think of spiders and creepy crawlies. And Tammuz, without the N, because remember, I'm hearing through my own filter, it's related to, and I discovered that part already, it's related to this actual time on the calendar in like ancient Babylonian times. And so there was already portals among portals among portals among portals, and in connection to my current partner, who has been instrumental in other healing awakenings and modalities for me in this part of my life. So just want to share that little tidbit. If you don't have a journaling practice, and I don't have a very good one, and I really need to get better, and this is a perfect example of how I need to get better and why I should, because it's like a reawakening. I felt like I was there, and when I got back with the purpose of transforming my life and getting out of the relationship I was in, and then I didn't listen to myself and I stayed in it, and that relationship ruined me. The repercussions financially, emotionally, and physically of that relationship are still with me to this day, because I didn't trust myself. I didn't trust the guides. I didn't trust the goddesses. I didn't trust my own inner wisdom and the wisdom of my ancestors and the ancestors of the land that came through me. I didn't trust them. I was so new. Not new to being a witch, because I was always a witch, but I was so new to an awareness, and I let it slip away. So let this be your crazy hair, tired, no sleep message through the screen, whichever screen you're watching on. Do not let it slip away, because our movements and our actions and our thoughts and our words, they ripple out. They ripple out, and we have to start behaving like the ancestors we want to be. All right, well, I'll get off of my soapbox and I'll get to work on some admin and emails and grading and prepping the script and the presentation for Witch Workshops tomorrow. Come on down. It's like 4:30 and I'm drinking an iced coffee, which won't be good later. What did you see? What did you see? Yeah, I agree. Even for myself, um, I love being in this community because I'm like, wow, I've got to do it too. And it's really nice to just be able to check in and um, activate myself in the ways that I want to. But sometimes I feel like when I'm alone, often in my own craft, that this sense of urgency that I often feel in a community space maybe doesn't translate all the time, all the way. And so I love being able to carry these things with all of us together. Um, I especially love the sit spot that Amy introduced. I did some of that this morning when I went to go look for an herb or a flower to use today. So I really love that, the noticing in nature. Hmm. I know. Into flowering and flourishing. I love this picture. Um, we're shifting gears this month a bit from this physical awareness of the natural world that we're also a part of to this emotional awareness of the natural world this month. So we've already started to listen to, be aware of, select, and craft our magical medicines and helpers. And we're going to start to deepen into more of our emotional guides this month. Today is Sunday, and I have grades for 5 classes due. For one class, it's their final grades, and I'm going to input those. And so I just finished actually doing all of the grading, and now I have to input, and it's my first time at this institution, so I'm like just trying to figure everything out, make sure I do it the right way. I was supposed to go to the film festival for this institution because I was a judge on Friday, but my car was in the shop a few months ago, actually. My car was in a hit and run on the George Washington Bridge. My partner was driving, thank the goddess that he was safe. But because of that, I couldn't go to the film festival, and I'm really sad. I'll probably never see these students again because if you don't know, most institutions, like traditional 4-year institutions, they have their schedule like this whole semester and a half before, and they know who's teaching what. And I filled in as an adjunct this past semester for a faculty member who retired. And so they don't have anything for me in the fall, not as of right now. So all of my students were juniors and seniors, so, but that's okay. I'm going to get their grades in, and then I'm going to shift gears. I teach at a global campus, so that means like an online situation for a university that does have in person, but they also have a very large online institution, I guess, as well. And I teach 2 classes for them typically each semester. And I'm supposed to be doing like a lot of work throughout the week, like responding to discussion boards and grading. And this was not the week for that. There was just so much happening with my other students doing their finals, with my car. I taught my witch workshops yesterday. Just a bunch of like end of semester stuff. So I'm really behind. So everything for that is like due today, and the new week starts, and I haven't done any of it. And so I really have to get in there, and it's just going to be a really long day. And, you know, it's not always like this. It just so happens that like everything is ending all at once. And so I do try really hard to focus on like work-life balance. I don't always accomplish that, but it's usually not this bad. So this is going to be a lot of like sitting and doing nothing today, and like taking little walks outside. So wish me luck. So we've unfortunately got our first plagiarism report of the semester for these kids, or the term rather. I say kids, but they're all adults. I just say that when I shouldn't. And it really stinks because it's a lot of work to submit a plagiarism report. It's a lot of back and forth. You have to have a lot of proof, a lot of evidence, which I do here. It's like 79% match, and then you go in on Turnitin and you see actually like what the information is. You shouldn't just rely on Turnitin. You should do a little more digging than that. But the thing that's always the worst is even when you have complete proof, students will fight you tooth and nail. And I have found in my many years of teaching that when you decide to like be nicer or give someone a chance or say, hey, let's just do XYZ, that always ends up being worse than just being like, I submitted a report for plagiarism. Because whenever you try to like be nice or go, hey, let's blah blah blah, it usually blows up in your face, which really sucks, and it's emotionally draining. I would rather you submit something where maybe it's not your best work, maybe it's not great, maybe it could use a little more reflection and support than plagiarize, because now you have a 0. I'm really excited. I am sitting outside the yoga studio. Look at that sun flare. Today is the first day where I don't have to like drive to another state to go teach at a university because the semester is over and I've submitted the grades. So I got up this morning and I was like, I'm going to be so productive. And all I wanted to do was take a nap. And I even said to myself, like halfway through the day, I was like, what if I did take a nap? What would happen? Would I get in trouble? Would someone be mad at me? Would someone tell me that I was being lazy for wanting to take a nap? And then I tried to take a nap. And we're so wired, or I am. I'm so wired to see taking a nap or rest in the middle of the day as being something bad or lazy that I couldn't do it. So what did I do? I scrolled on my phone. I answered some emails, sure, but all I really did was scroll on my fucking phone. It was like less productive than if I took a nap and rested my body and my brain. So I forced myself out of the house because then I got real lazy. And now I'm out of the house and I'm going to go do yoga, and I haven't done it in a long time. And of course I forgot to put on my ankle brace and my wrist brace. But that's okay, because I'm just going to be as gentle with myself as possible. I love hot yoga. I only do hot yoga. There's something about the heat of the room that is also purifying in its own way. It's really challenging in its own way. So it's like a mental and emotional thing you also have to overcome on top of the physical. And I think that the heat helps you stretch those muscles more. And I did my yoga teacher training in the hot room. So let's get back to some of that. Yeah, let's go. If I have to do one more Microsoft Authenticator, I'm gonna myself. Not really. Please don't do that. So here's what we got going on for today. I have a limited amount of time before I have to get on the train and go to work. And normally I just sit inside of my house and I don't like go anywhere or do anything. But I used to love coming to this coffee shop. And it's only like 10 minutes max, maybe 7 away from me. So there's really no excuse why I can't get up out of the house. A cup of coffee is not that expensive. Some days it is, sure. But right now it's not. And on top of that, they have this really cool booth. That you can rent out, and it's not 1,000% soundproof. Like, you can probably hear the music in the background of this, unless this mic is like so good. But it is muffled, and the seats are so cozy, and you could technically fit up to 4 people, and it's really inexpensive to rent. And I've rented it for an hour and a half. And I used to do this when I was like I have to stop cursing, don't I? I was gonna say balls deep, and I said it anyway. I was knee deep in writing my comprehensive exams, and I haven't been back in a while. It's been like a year. So I'm back. I'm helping my friend look at her prospectus. I'm going to give her some feedback. Then I'm going to switch gears and do a little bit of admin. And then I'm looking at 2 job applications and a grant application. Then I'm going to get on the train and go to work. I'm probably not going to finish all of that in the time that I have, but I'm going to try. So let's get to it. Hi everyone. I came in a little late, and so I got a little bit of a late start. My goal was to work on a fellowship application. I did 1.5 questions. That's it. There's only 5 questions, so I am, almost halfway through. I'm going to keep working on this because I would like to get it in today, and I've already done a lot of writing notes in terms of answering it not in the application itself. So I'm going to keep working on that before I sort of switch gears and look at some feedback for my dissertation proposal, which was a lot more than I wanted it to be. So it'll be a long day of doing that. I will pass it to Oh my god. It has taken me all day to do this fellowship application. It's Wednesday. I left off yesterday with the fellowship application being the only thing that I had to do for yesterday's to-do list. I have a lot of other stuff that I have to do. But I was feeling really good about yesterday's to-do list, and I was like, I'm gonna bang that out first thing in the morning. It's gonna be done. It's 5:25 p.m. I started working on it maybe around 11 a.m. I got a later start to my day than I usually do. I just couldn't fall asleep last night, and so I was up really late, and then I had like disrupted sleep this morning, so I was just sort of groggy. But that application took a really long time. It shouldn't have taken that long. Well, maybe, I don't know. They did put a disclaimer that was, they were like, this should take you like 2 to 3 hours to complete. It took me longer. And I had even started working on some of the answers yesterday, but I was like, does this make sense? And it's hard to work straight through. Speaking of which, there's a big misconception, I think, around when and how PhD students work, and including how adjuncts work. And so I just want to share briefly kind of what that looks like. So PhD students are more like full-time employees year-round, sometimes with no pay, sometimes with very little pay. You do, depending on your program, like I, for example, did take like traditional courses and coursework because it's there are like foundational specialized texts and things that you need to know and do. But a lot of places are not like that. Maybe you do like seminars or, you know, different study, whatever. But I did traditional courses and then qualifying exams, and now I'm in the proposal phase of my dissertation. I'm not a candidate yet. I won't be a candidate until I pass my proposal and submit my HRRC application and have that accepted. And that's like a human rights thing, which basically is like, okay, here's how you're going to do your research. You're doing it ethically. You're not violating anyone or anything. That's probably not going to happen till the fall, if we're being honest. And then I become a candidate, and then I just have to get the work done of the dissertation and get funding and sponsorships and all that sort of thing, which is why I've been applying for so many like fellowships and grants, like even small ones, because you get a couple of small ones, and I think it will make you look good when you're applying for those bigger ones, like, oh, you have experience, you know, accepting funding and then doing something with it, like doing something you said you would. But PhD students, I mean, we work year-round. Adjuncts at a traditional institution usually don't work in the summer. It's very rare that an adjunct will be given a course in the summer. I work at both traditional institutions and conservatories, so some of my work does go through the summer, which I'm really, really grateful for, because otherwise I'd have no job. But in the summer, you know, PhD students and researchers will use that time to do things like apply for conferences, do more research, do more reading, do a lot of writing, apply for scholarships and funding and network, and maybe go to a conference and all these different kinds of opportunities. So there's no like, oh, I'm on vacation now, unless I deliberately take one. And that is, it's frustrating, but I don't know what else to do about that. On top of that, if you're going to be a PhD researcher, you really need to be a self-starter, and you need to follow through. So I have no problem getting started. I'll make a list and a schedule and to do this and to do that, and I've got all these big goals, and I write my goals out and I visualize and I meditate and I do all my shit. I am not as good with sticking to it. Getting a PhD has changed that drastically for me. It started with sort of a like, you have no choice, you have to. you're paying for this, and or you're given this opportunity, or this is your job or whatever. But now I've gotten really good at like completion, follow through. Okay, this is completed, now on to the next thing, which growing up I was really, really not good at that. So if you're like, oh, I don't think I can do a PhD because, you know, I'm not really good at self-starting, or I'm not good at organization or time management, you will learn those skills. And there are things that can help you. And so let me share with you some of the things that help me. I'm in a study group. I'm in a study community. There are daily Zoom study sessions, writing sessions, community events. If like there's not one that's being hosted, you could host your own within the community and people will join you. I am in a study session, like I have my money's worth, okay? I'm in a study session like from the moment I wake up to like the moment I go to bed, if I'm not working or commuting or whatever. So that's one, find a community. 2, get a planner. Whatever system or process works for you. I'm very much like analog, handwritten, hand notes, all that jam. I don't know. 3, I use Pomodoro focus sessions. I go on YouTube, and there's one of my favorite accounts is Inner Academia, and they have so many different study sessions, like different themes, and it's broken down with like a Pomodoro focus. That gets me through, okay? And then, like, sort of obviously, but I plan my stuff around when I'm teaching. So I'm like, okay, well, I have this amount of time for I have to get on the train, and I have this amount of time when I get back. Some days I don't do anything on the days that I teach and commute, because you have to find a way to rest your body. Speaking of bodies, hydration. Oh my God, hydration. You will like emerge from a writing cave and not know what century you're in, and you are probably severely dehydrated and maybe too much coffee. Hydration. Put a water bottle on your desk. Every time the Pomodoro gives you a break, guzzle that water. Okay. Healthy snacks. Fruit is your friend. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Deliberate stretching and walking and moving of your body. Yeah. We just saw Sinners. What's your rating out of 10?
That was pretty damn good.
Who would you recommend to see this?
My mother.
Stop it. Besides your mother, who should go see it?
Practitioners of second religions.
Crafters. Arts and crafters.
Arts and crafters. Arts and crafters.
And where are we now?
Prep for you.
So life is really funny because you can probably tell from this video that I was crying. And this has happened to me a lot in my life where I'm crying about something. I'm like hysterically sobbing, and then I open my email and I've like gotten something and I'm like, I don't know what that's about. I don't know what this balance is about. But I wish it would stop. I wish the crying would stop and I would just get things, but I don't think that's how life works. So I applied for a bunch of like different fellowships and like grants and all these different opportunities, and the first one is getting back to me, and it's not 1,000% yes yet, but it's really positive, and they're asking for my availability and such. So I'm gonna respond to this and do some admin work before I have to start my commute into the city. She said, "Thank you for writing with so much heart. Your work, your thinking, and your energy seems to deeply align with our mission and values." There's even a Zoom study session on Sunday, which I actually usually host one. Oh, it's Saturday. This is how the week's been going. Today is my cousin Amanda's wedding. I'm so proud of her for all the things she's accomplished in life so far. And I am really excited to see all my cousins and my tantas and everybody else. It's Sunday, and I had a little bit too much to drink at my cousin's wedding last night. I didn't sleep very well because I have cats. But right now I'm about to hop on a Zoom call to do a virtual ritual with some friends for the health and wellness of another friend. Good morning. Well, afternoon now. Okay, so it's Sunday. Ooh, we made it. This is the last day in my, come hang out with me for a week as a PhD student, blah, blah, blah. And Sundays are usually really jam-packed days because all of my grading is due, as I've mentioned before. And, that's 40, 60. It's about 80 assignments worth of grading. Now, some of that grading are discussion board posts, and so that's not as in-depth and substantial as the actual assignments themselves. On a good day, on a good week, I don't leave all of that till Sunday. This week, as you saw, there was a lot of outside of the house activities that don't typically happen in my week. And so everything has been left until today. And I'm hungover. So everything is harder than it should be. And so my plan for today, I just finished my ritual with my friends for our other friends' health and well-being. I'm going to get all my grades done. When I have to do 80 like this, I block it. I do blocks and I go, all right, 20 discussion board posts, 20 discussion board posts. Then I published the announcement module for both of them after that. So they get some grades and they see what they're doing for the next week. So they're not like, she's telling us what to do, but she hasn't given us any grades back. And then I'll take a break. I'm going to eat something. I'm going to hydrate, probably drink some tea. I would like to take a walk. Even though I feel like shit, I feel like I need to take a walk and move my body a little bit. Then I'll come back and I'll do 20 assignments and 20 assignments. At that time, I will probably collapse So I don't anticipate doing much more than that, but I've already done a bunch of emails and admin work for other jobs. So I'm glad that's done. I have to go in and approve timesheets for faculty members that I supervise. So I'll do that. And then there's still a couple of emails I need to answer. And I just sort of want to visualize and plan what my week is going to look like for, starting tomorrow. So I don't know if I'm going to get to the visualization and the planning tonight because I think I'm just going to collapse. I think I'm just going to pass out. Now, the one good thing about today is that I like to work in almost complete silence. So I use ambient sounds like this one, study at the Hogwarts Great Hall at night, and it's just like sounds of the castle or like ambient whatever. That's fine. That works really well for me, and it's a Pomodoro timer. I can't listen to music if there's lyrics, because then I'm listening to the words while I'm trying to have thoughts and think about what to say to students and stuff. And my partner is not here today. He is having a barbecue with his family, which I'm, our number is 222, and as soon as I said that, the clock turned 222. Thinking of him. I would love to be there with his family having a barbecue. I freaking love barbecues, and I love his family, but it's just not going to happen today. I have to sort of pick and choose, and I had a huge day out yesterday with all of my family for my cousin's wedding. She looked beautiful. Oh, I'm going to cry again. But we are going to hang out with all of his family next weekend for another wedding. So I'll cut my losses today, and so I'm going to see them next week. And I'm going to do this. But I'd also really love to get a ritual in today to close out the week. So I'm definitely going to do that, and I'll show you that. That'll probably be how this video ends, showing you an embodiment, a simple embodiment ritual that you can find in my ebook. And I'm going to do this embodiment ritual to sort of calm my nerves and get myself grounded for the week ahead. It's hard to be grounded when you're hungover. So I need a little extra help. But all right, enough procrastination. Let's get this work done. But I just wanted to pause and breathe. Feel the sun. Hear the actual birds. Feel the wind. Before I have to go back in and do 23 more assignments. My hair is crazy. I look crazy. Everything's crazy. But I'm going to move my body like I said I would. The biggest trap I fell into for grad school is that I was so consumed with getting the assignments in on time, getting the papers done, getting the good grades. And those things are really cool, but I really broke my body, and I'm dealing with the repercussions of that. And so now I'm really determined that balance is key. Balance is everything. And actually, your health, mental, physical, emotional, is more important than your grades. I want you to remember that. You can always retake a test, retake a class, take a low grade and pass. You cannot often get your health back as easily. You can't. You just can't. So I'm fortunate that around my apartment complex there's a bit of greenery. It's not very cute or anything. And there's no like secluded place I could go to be alone without like the fear of someone stumbling upon me. But it is nice to get out and walk and to be able to do that and have these trees and have the grass and yeah. So I'm going to do that before I go back in, finish grading, do an embodiment ritual, get my body moving in that way, and then wind down for the evening with an audiobook. And then, my friends, Sunday's almost over and the new week begins. Oh, I'm done. You can see how dark it is now. The only light is the light from the computer screen. Oh my god, I'm done. And I've already started receiving a bunch of emails from students who didn't like their grade. I don't actually check those on the Sunday. I will attend to them tomorrow morning. Today is just about making sure all the grades are in, making sure everyone has the proper feedback, making sure everything is done in that arena. I'm so happy to be done, dude. I'm so happy. So I'm going to take a little moment for myself, and then I'm going to do my ritual. I'm done, baby.